OpenAI just shipped the whole super app. GPT 5.6, Sol, Terra, and Luna, plus ChatGPT work, all landing at once. And the piece that matters at your keyboard is not the model. It is a new API trick that turns a dozen expensive model round trips into one program run. This is Mainframe, your daily guide through the AI chaos. What actually happened, who is winning, and how to take yourself to the next level. It is Friday, July 10th, 2026. I am Nova.
And I am Dex.
On today's Mainframe, GPT 5.6 goes fully public, and the real gift for builders is programmatic tool calling and a multi-agent beta in the API. ChatGPT Work and Codex fold into one desktop app, and I will tell you the one mode you actually want. Fable 5, the model you plan with, is still on borrowed time. Your included window closes July 12th, and after that, it meters at $10 in, $50 out per million. And a hidden gem, Tencent's High 3, a 295 billion parameter open model that is free on OpenRouter for 11 more days. Let's get into it.
Quick note before we roll. The voices you are hearing are AI. The reporting, the pics, and the opinions are put together by humans.
The board. And I am keeping it short. Here is the one macro move that hits your bill. GPT 5.6 landed with a real price ladder. Sol is $5 in, $30 out. Terra, $2.50 in, $15 out. Luna, $1 in, $6 out per million tokens. Luna nearly matches GPT 5.5's peak performance at less than half the estimated cost, while Terra surpasses it at a lower cost.
And on the independent numbers, it is close at the top. Fable 5 still leads the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index, 59.9 to 58.9. But the cost story flipped hard against premium.
So the read for your margins. Near frontier is now a three-way price war: OpenAI, Anthropic, and Grok. If your pricing assumes one vendor, that is a leak. Price per finished task. Keep a routing dial. Bank the spread. Which is exactly the kind of thing our sponsor lives in. Brought to you by Outpace. Picture an operator who spent 30 years building real businesses: real estate, hospitality, food, even a theater. Now that same operator points a whole team of AI agents at one client's project at a time, strategy to ship. Outpace is a system, not a freelancer, and not some faceless mega agency. The agents do the work. One senior operator steers them. And at the end, you own the code and the keys. When the model shelf reshuffles 3 times a week, like it did this week, you want someone driving the whole fleet, not chasing each release. Book a 30-minute call at outpace.media. That is outpace.media. The Wire. Lead story. And this is the one to act on. GPT 5.6 is fully public today across ChatGPT, Codex, and the API. But skip the benchmark theater. The real day one news is the API surface. In the Responses API, programmatic tool calling lets GPT 5.6 write and run programs in memory that coordinate tools and process intermediate results. And a multi-agent beta lets it run concurrent subagents and synthesize their work in a single request.
Translate that. Normally, an agent calls a tool, ships the whole result back to the model reads it, decides, calls again. Every round trip burns tokens and time. Programmatic tool calling lets the model write lightweight JavaScript that coordinates tools inside a hosted runtime, process intermediate results, filter unnecessary data, and pass only the useful material forward, which reduces round trips and can lower token use for bounded, tool-heavy workflows.
And the receipts are real. Playco saw 63.5% fewer total tokens and 50.1% fewer model turns, with programmatic tool calling coordinating its tool pipelines. Simon Willison's read, "It could help bridge the gap between MCP servers and full terminal sessions that compose command line utilities in useful ways."
One honest caveat on when to use it. The deciding variable is how predictable your control flow is. If the tool sequence is mostly known in advance, fetch, filter, transform, aggregate, it turns a dozen model round trips into one program run. If the agent genuinely doesn't know its next step until it sees the last result, direct tool calling stays the honest architecture.
So the move this week. Take one existing agent workflow where the steps are predictable, a data pull, a filter, a summary, and re-implement it with programmatic tool calling on Terra or Luna. Log tokens before and after. If your control flow is knowable, you just cut your bill in half and got ahead of every builder still doing one tool call per model turn.
Story 2. The desktop merge, because people are already confused. On July 9th, OpenAI merged the Codex app into the new ChatGPT desktop app for Mac and Windows. Codex is not going away. It remains a dedicated coding experience inside the app, next to chat and work. The older ChatGPT desktop app is being renamed ChatGPT Classic.
The one mode you want as a builder is Codex mode, not work. Codex mode shows more technical detail that ChatGPT work abstracts away. And the new Codex bits are genuinely useful. Inline editing in diffs, pull request review in the side panel, faster computer use powered by GPT 5.6, and multi-repository projects. If you already had Codex installed, just update it. It becomes the new app.
Story 3. And this is the builder stakes one. Fable 5. The model a lot of you plan and architect with is still living on an extension. Anthropic pushed included access on all paid plans through July 12th. After that, it meters via usage credits at $10 per million in and $50 per million out, more than twice Opus. If credits are off when your allowance runs out, access just stops.
The silver lining up front? It is not a permanent goodbye. A Claude Code lead engineer has said they aim to restore Fable to subscriptions as capacity allows. But you have got the weekend, so the move, and we will hit it again in use cases, is do not spend the last Fable days on throwaway output. Have Fable write down how it plans and structures your hardest recurring job as a skill file. Keep the method after the model gets rationed. Tool Lab. 2 picks you can use today. First, trending. 10 cents high 3. Released July 6th, a 295 billion parameter mixture of experts model under the Apache 2.0 license, with free API access on OpenRouter through July 21st. Credit the Tencent Hunyuan team.
The reason it matters for you specifically, it activates only 21 billion parameters per token and ships a 256,000 token context window, so it is cheap to serve and can eat a whole repo. And the reliability work is the real story. Tencent reports SWE bench variance within a few points whether the model runs inside Claude Code-style harnesses, Klein, or Kilo code. That harness consistency is what usually breaks open models in real agents.
The move. You have an OpenRouter account, so this week, point one high-volume coding job, boilerplate, scaffolds, mechanical refactors, at the Tencent/high 3:free route. Use reasoning effort high for the hard steps. Compare quality and cost against your Claude baseline. Just know the ceiling. On Tencent's own appendix, GLM 5.2 beats high 3 across the agentic coding suite, so keep hard reasoning on Claude. And the free window is a clock. It closes July 21st.
Second pick, a hidden gem for the L4 crowd. The multi-agent beta in the GPT 5.6 Responses API. Not a repo, a capability most builders will not touch for weeks. One GPT 5.6 instance coordinates several sub-agents, assigns independent work streams, and synthesizes their findings.
Why bother when you can handwire sub-agents yourself? Because now it is one request with built-in synthesis, which means less orchestration glue for you to maintain. The move. Take a task that naturally splits, say, researching 5 competitors, and fire it as one multi-agent request on Terra instead of 5 sequential calls. Watch your wall clock time drop. Just budget for it. Parallelism reduces wall clock time, but increases token use and creates coordination failures a single agent trace does not have. Test on a throwaway task before it touches client work. Use cases. 2 smart moves with what is already in your hands. 1. The Fable distillation, and the clock is real. Before Saturday, run your hardest recurring job on Fable. Then have Fable write down how it planned and structured that work as a Claude code skill file. Skills are markdown, so that same file runs on Sonnet 5, on Grok, on Codex. You are buying the expensive model's judgment once and keeping it cheap forever. Credit to the builder Ewo Zapar, who has been running this play all week.
2. A fresh one off today's release. If you build any tool-heavy agent, copy the programmatic tool calling pattern even outside OpenAI. Separate the deterministic plumbing, the fetch, filter, aggregate, from the expensive judgment call. Imagine collecting thousands of customer records. Use a program to filter them before asking the model to judge, so the expensive reasoning model sees the relevant 50 records rather than every raw entry. You can wire that logic into Claude code with a bash tool today. Cheap plumbing, expensive judgment only where it counts.
The Deep Dive. One idea, higher altitude. This week, 4 labs made near-frontier intelligence cheap and interchangeable. GPT 5.6 opened to everyone. Grok undercut on price. High 3 gave the weights away. And even Fable, the best, got rationed by capacity. If your edge was access to the single smartest model, that edge just repriced towards 0.
But notice what did not get cheaper. The thing OpenAI actually shipped as its headline was not raw IQ. It was programmatic tool calling and multi-agent, the plumbing that gets more useful work per token. The value moved from the model to the harness around it.
So here is what I would actually do about it. Stop chasing the smartest model and start building the layer that makes any model swappable underneath you. Your routing rules, your distilled skills, your tool calling programs that filter before they reason. That layer is what a client cannot get from an API key. And it is the only thing on your workbench this week that did not just get commoditized. Next reshuffle, you change one line of config and keep the spread. Level up this week. Re-implement one predictable agent workflow with programmatic tool calling on Terra or Luna, and distill one Fable skill before July 12th. 20 minutes, and every run after is cheaper and outage-proof.
And if you want every story, number, and link from today in your inbox tomorrow morning, subscribe to the free Mainframe newsletter. It is the written version of exactly what we just walked through.
That is Mainframe for Friday, July 10th. Build something today that the next model launch cannot take away from you. See you Monday.